Hafa day and welcome to our latest episode of My Story. I'm your host, Janella Carrera. We here at My Story make it an effort to educate the public about cancer and how it affects the community. Every month, we feature a cancer warrior, survivor, caregiver, or stakeholder to share how cancer has affected them. So in this episode, we sit down with cancer survivor Magdalena Quirigua. She was diagnosed with lung cancer at the age of 69, but was able to fight off the cancer and shares her story with us today. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, you'll get to know more about Mag and how she's doing now. Hafa day and welcome back to My Story. Thanks for joining us. And joining us in this episode of My Story is Ms. Magdalena Quirigua. Thank you, Auntie Mag, for joining us in this episode. So I know you're a survivor of lung cancer. So congratulations on surviving that.
You.
I'm sure that it was very tough. But tell us what your life was like before you got the diagnosis. It's only been a few years since. So
Yeah.
what was it that you were doing? What were some of the daily activities that you were getting into?
Cleaning, washing clothes, cleaning, and
Yeah,
helping my husband with the animals down there.
yeah. So so you were just living a pretty normal life, just everyday life, and did you start to feel any kind of symptoms? Were you coughing? What led you to seek some kind of help?
I was coughing.
You were coughing a lot.
Yeah.
But I understand you were also a smoker,
Yes.
right? So when you were coughing, how did you know that it was a cough that had something to do with just, the average regular smoking versus maybe one that might be more serious? Was the coughing a little bit different from, the regular type of coughing
Yeah,
that
I've
you were
been coughing a long time, every time. But I always thought it was, normal,
Yeah,
a flu or something.
right.
But I went to the doctor and he x-rayed I have an x-ray.
Uh-huh.
And then he said he found something there. So he said, we'll take a specimen and we send it back to Hawaii. And then when the when the result came, it was positive that I'm
For lung cancer.
lung cancer.
Wow, wow.
It was
Before you got the diagnosis, before you even got the treatment, how many years have you already been smoking?
since I was 18.
Since you were 18 years old?
Yes, my neighbor always come over, we have coffee and try to smoke.
Yeah.
Mali. And I coughed when I started smoking. But from there on, 18 up to now.
To when you got diagnosed. So that was what, maybe some 50 years
Yes.
that you were a heavy smoker. Wow. Was it like how would you describe it? Was it several packs a day, maybe a pack a day? Two packs a day.
Before, and then when I went to Dr. Dosama, and he told me that I have a lung cancer, I cut down. He told me to quit, but I never quit.
He told you to quit. Right. But you couldn't. After 50 years of smoking, I imagine it's very hard
yeah,
to
it's
just
very hard,
give it up
yeah.
right away.
So he told me to quit. And then when I was taking chemo and radiation, they told me also to quit there, but I said, hurry up because I need something. Hurry up with the chemo. So, I need something, I need my oxygen. And they say, what is your oxygen? I said, my
Your cigarette.
cigarette. Oh man, Mrs. Quirigua, I told you already to quit.
Yeah.
Stop that because you're taking chemo and the radiation and it's not good. So I keep cutting down.
How much did you cut down? So you went from 2 packs a day to
A pack,
1 pack a day.
yeah, to a pack for 2 days.
Oh, I see. You spread that 1
yeah.
pack out into 2 days.
Because I tried to quit.
You tried to cut. What were some of the things you did to try and cut down the amount of cigarettes you were smoking a day?
I just
Did you increase other activities? You know, did you maybe do more around the house so that you get your mind off of smoking?
Yeah, something like that, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Did your family, did they try to stop you or get you to quit smoking
Oh,
as well?
yes, especially my brother in Hawaii. He even goes over and said, Mac, I heard you have lung cancer. Please quit smoking.
Yeah.
I said, okay, but he's in Hawaii and I'm here. Doesn't see what,
Yeah.
what I'm doing, but, I tried to
Yeah,
quit.
yeah. I imagine even your doctor must have been getting mad at you all the
Oh,
time.
yes.
What are you doing smoking and you're still,
He says, Kira, you're still smoking? I said, I cannot lie to you, doc. Yes, but I decrease it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one pack for 2 days.
2 days. Right.
Stop. Don't stop. Please stop. I didn't.
Do you have any regrets about that?
Yes.
Knowing what you do now?
When I have stroke, that's the time I stop cold turkey.
Completely.
Yeah.
So, when you had the stroke, was that before you were diagnosed with lung
No,
cancer?
that was after.
Oh, that was after.
Long, about a year maybe, or.
I see. So after the lung cancer diagnosis, you
Yeah.
were still smoking, even
Yes.
through chemo and radiation therapy. But then you had the stroke,
Yes.
and that kind of was, the end all be all for you. It was like, okay, that's it.
Yes, because the doctor said, you have one good,
Wow.
I cannot say that, one life that is like, if you quit smoking, if you want to live longer, because next time you come here,
That's it.
that's it. We don't know whether you're going to go or paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
So I really completely stopped.
When you experienced that stroke, you were hospitalized, I imagine. You ended
No,
up
I was just asking my husband, how come I'm talking
talking funny.
funny? Yes.
Yeah.
And then said, hey, that's a no good sign. You better go to the hospital. I went to the clinic first. Dr. Lizama wasn't there. So Dr. Talahi, I see him. He said, what can I do, Mr. Kido? Can you fix my tongue so that I can talk clear? He said, oh man, if it's up there and it's you from there, I don't want to take chances. So he called 911. I said, why do you have to do that? I don't feel
You're
anything.
walking,
Yeah.
Right.
Only
It's just the talking.
that took me emergency in. I said, hi. So only about a night and
Oh, at the hospital.
I was at the hospital. No, I didn't stay long.
Okay, so it wasn't even like the typical type of stroke that you hear about, where someone might be paralyzed and can't move. Yours was more, I guess you could call it a mild stroke, where
Yeah.
the only real symptom that you felt was in your speech.
Yes.
You weren't feeling any kind of pain or anything like that. Like some stroke victims, they feel pain, one side of their arm or something like that. You didn't experience.
That's what he said. If you come back next time,
That's what you'll feel. That's
Yeah.
what they warned you
Yeah.
about. So when you quit cold turkey, did you experience any of the the symptoms that people go through when they quit cold turkey? The withdrawals, and they get sick.
No, sometimes I ask my boy, my son, but my son said no.
No.
I asked my grandson, no. When he saw me smoking one time, he said, Grandma, I told you already,
Yeah.
please stop smoking. He said, I'll die with this. He went inside and he cried because he
wow.
wanted me to quit. But I once in a while, when I see somebody smoking, I said, let me have a toke. But it's really my boy. My grandson really wants me to quit and live longer.
Yeah. So it was your
Longer
grandson
life.
that really pushed you
Yes.
to finally let it go. How did that feel for you, knowing that your grandchildren were really pushing you to be here longer, to spend more time with them?
I feel so grateful, and I was so thankful for him. I took that cigarette and threw it in the trash can. I didn't smoke it because he went inside and he started crying. I said, oh, poor boy, he really wants me to quit. Yeah.
And now you have great grandchildren too,
Yes.
as well. And so is that even more of a reason that pushes you to try to stay healthy, live longer?
To see my great grand.
Because you're not, you're actually still quite young in my eyes. You're only what, 70, 70, 71? 71.
That's not young, dear. That's old already. You can see all the gray hairs.
Well, 71 relatively, with great-grandchildren, that's quite an accomplishment. So congratulations on having great grandkids and fighting through lung cancer and a stroke. That's pretty amazing that you're still here and able to, tell your story. When we come back, maybe we can talk more about the diagnosis itself, the treatment that you had to go through, such as radiation and chemotherapy, and maybe some of the comments and maybe advice that you might have for others out there who are also heavy smokers, and what might be in store for them in the future. So we'll talk more about that when we come back right after this. Hafde, and welcome back to My Story. And once again, joining us is Ms. Magdalena Quirigua. Thank you again for joining us and sharing your story of surviving lung cancer and a stroke. You talked about, getting the diagnosis from Dr. Lizama. But when you found out that you had lung cancer, what was it like when you told your family about it?
Oh, they were sad, and I was sad too. And I was shocked. And he said, this is not a good news, Mrs. Quirigua. I have to tell you that you have cancer, lung cancer.
Did they tell you what stage you were at
No.
at the time? Okay.
It's the thing is, I think it's the starting.
It was just starting.
Yeah. And
So they caught it at at a pretty early time.
Yes.
That's wow.
Yeah. I was thinking whether I'm going to get operation and remove that or just take the chemo and the radiation.
The radiation. Did
So
you did you have to do surgery? Any kind of surgery?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it was just the chemo and the radiation.
Yes.
And you did that here in Guam, or did you have to travel?
Here in Guam.
Oh, so you did it all here. Wow.
We even took we renew our passport because when Dr. Chaudhry said you need a bone, everything to.
Yeah. You thought you would have to travel.
Yeah.
But you
You
didn't.
have to go. And I said, I don't want to go.
Yeah. So you did it all here.
No, but I didn't go.
So you did chemo and radiation for about how long did you do the treatment?
About a year.
About a year.
The radiation and the treatment.
What was that like? Going through that whole process. One whole year of
I feel
radiation.
sorry for my son and my husband waking up early to go bring me down there because I cannot drive anymore. So I feel sorry for them because they go.
They're the ones who have to.
And they're coming for support, my husband. That's only about a year.
When during treatment, though, the whole physical process of going through that, what was that like? Having to, I imagine I hear all about it. It's
No, it doesn't hurt.
Oh, it doesn't hurt.
Nothing,
Okay.
no. When you get chemo, the needle only going in. But after that, the radiation, no, nothing. You don't feel anything, but it just make you lie down, and they try to go to in between the arteries to
The source, the lung, your lungs.
Yeah, lungs. Yeah,
I see.
and they did pretty good. Dr. Ahu, that's my radiation doctor. He's good.
When you, so you did about a year of radiation and chemo. Was that the plan going forward? Was that it was just going to take a year, or was it more like, well, let's start it and then, we'll stop based on how you do? What was the treatment plan for you?
It's like they started and they, they finish it because the thing shrunk.
It shrunk. Was there a tumor? Did they find a tumor in your lung? Is that where?
Oh, I didn't ask the doctor that one. I didn't even know what stage I am in.
Oh, I
But
see.
all I'm glad that they shrunk it,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm on what do you call that? Survivor.
Yeah. When you, I imagine after chemo and radiation, they did an X-ray to determine whether or not there was, any more cancer there or a tumor. When you received the news that it had shrunk and that you didn't need to do chemo and radiation anymore,
No
what
anymore.
was that like?
Oh, I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy, and I give thanks to the radiation and the
The chemo.
chemo people for doing such good thing for me.
Yeah.
I was happy and glad.
What was the scariest part about all of this? I mean, did at your age, getting diagnosed with lung cancer, did you think that, this is it, this is the end for you, or were you trying to push through? You wanted to live longer and be here for your family.
Oh yes, I wanted to push. I pushed longer
Yeah,
to be because I want to see my two great grand grow.
yeah,
So even my daughter said, "Mom, stop smoking." Every time she see me, I said, "It's hard to stop turkey. It's hard."
Did you try to get help? Like with with any professionals who might be able to?
Oh no. Only my kids. Every
you
time I
just-
ask them, no. I stop asking.
Yeah.
This is for my own good.
When you had the stroke, right, and that's what compelled you to finally quit smoking.
Yes.
You quit cold turkey, but you mentioned that there were maybe a couple occasions when you might have gone back.
Yeah. I smoke sometimes. Because it's hard, to
I
quit right
understand.
away. And oh boy. Like when my husband see me, he's always on my case because he doesn't want me to smoke.
Yeah.
One time I was coming up from the living room to the kitchen, he was sitting down, I was say, "Hey, very good, that's very good." Right? To
Yeah.
put the cigarette away because he saw me smoking.
Some people might consider you very fortunate that 50 years of smoking. Some people don't even make it that far, and here you are. You're still here. You're able to tell your story. What would you tell other people who might be in a similar situation as you, who might be heavy smokers? I mean, you yourself, you have a very hard time, a difficult time
Yes.
quitting and just letting it go. But if there's something you could, pass on to the next generation about smoking, what would you tell them?
I told them to quit smoking, don't be like me. Because even my mother, before she died, she called all of the girls in. Come and I'll tell you this. He said, "I want you to see what I'm in here for, the palm, everything is on her. I want you all girls to quit smoking. Look at me now."
Your mother was also a smoker.
He called all of us.
Oh,
And then, but we still smoke.
Right.
We have this round table at my sister's house. And every time we go there, the pack of cigarettes are over there in the ashtray.
wow.
But I said, "Man, you guys, stop smoking."
Do you think your life would have been different? Your health would have been different had you not been a smoker? Had you not picked up a cigarette when you were 18?
It's too early to tell because I only had the stroke about a couple of weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
2 weeks ago. And it's hard to tell now.
Oh, you just had the stroke 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's why I still have this.
Oh, man. Wow. I'm so amazed. I thought maybe this had happened a year ago. This was just a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I see. And so you just quit literally like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, smoking.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I hope it stays that way.
Now,
You know.
I went to MRI,
Mhm.
and then Dr. Saban, I went to see Dr. Sama. He told me that yes, you have a stroke on your left.
I see.
That's all he told me. And this stuff.
Yeah. Going forward, you know, being that this is so fresh, you just had the stroke a couple weeks ago, you just quit smoking, you overcame lung cancer.
It feels good.
It feels good
Yeah.
to not have to, you know, look for a cigarette all the time. Look
I
for
see
that.
cigarette, but I don't. My grand smokes, my son smokes, but I never. But when I ask,
They
they
don't-
say no.
No. Yeah.
We want your grandma to live longer, so please stop smoking.
Do you feel
Okay.
healthier now that you've let go of smoking?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, but the stroke, I still,
Right.
I'm still a little bit,
You still feel. I mean, it just happened a few weeks ago.
that's what, yes.
What are you hoping, you know, in the next, you know, few months, few years? What are you hoping for with all of this that you've gone through in your life? You know, battling cancer, surviving it,
Yes.
surviving a stroke. What are you hoping for?
What am I hoping for?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping to live longer and have a nice togetherness with my family and my sisters too.
Mhm.
You know, my sisters, I got two, they're really sick now.
From smoking.
My youngest one is on oxygen.
Like
No,
a
it's,
trachea. Ah, she has to carry on an oxygen to breathe. Yeah. Wow. Wow. And you're very fortunate. You don't have to rely on an oxygen to breathe now,
Yeah, it's
So-
good to
to let go of smoking. Well, I
don't smell the cigarette anymore. You know, but me, when I smoke, the cigarette smell stays on me.
yeah. Well, I really hope it stays that way. That you know you finally let go of smoking and you really do, you know, quit cold turkey. And I'm really amazed by your story and touched that you know
Yeah.
you survived it and you're able to get through it.
Oh,
So
yes.
thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Auntie Meg.
Okay, thank you for having me.
All right, well, that's our latest episode of My Story with Auntie Magdalena Quirigua, survivor of lung cancer. Thank you again for joining us on this episode of My Story. I'm your host, Janella Carrera.